My name is Rich Marble, and I'm an employee of firmTRAK Solutions. And I wanted to take a few minutes to provide a quick overview of our firmTRAK dashboard and the accounting services that we can provide for your law firm. What I'm showing here is the top-level integrated dashboard that takes your CRM data that you have and you keep within your law firm and combines it with information that we put into the system on the firmTRAK website, in addition to some of the accounting information that we're pulling from your accounting software, which can include QuickBooks or Xero. The top-level integrated dashboard takes into consideration matters and matter management, employee productivity, and various financial metrics to help you make better decisions within your law firm. Page 2 relates to clients and the matters that you keep within the firm. Each of the filters that you see on the right-hand side can be activated for a particular area of practice, the type of billing method, for example, flat fee or contingent work. And also you can filter by the resource who's working on the project, in addition to the responsible attorney or the rainmaker that has brought the client into your firm. The filters that you have on clients and matters can take a look at new clients per month, the client composition between corporations or businesses and individuals. And then also we take a look at the matter of, or the number of actual clients that you have in the firm, and of those clients, which ones are active and which ones are dormant. Active clients are those that have had work or a bill within the last 3 months on any particular matter. Relative to the clients and matters, you have an opportunity to review each of the matters by revenue generated, by accounts receivable, or by invoices. And with each of these filters, you have the ability to take a look at whether or not it's a practice group. So you could take a look at your area of practice. You could take a look at the resources that are allocated or assigned to each of these matters in order to determine productivity of individual performers or practice groups. One area of inquiry that we receive a lot of questions about is law firm and law firm productivity, really managing of resources. Management of resources really comes down to tracking productivity by hours, and then also converting those hours to dollar values or other metrics that your firm can assess. With our productivity functionality, we keep track of the total available time that your entire team is ready and willing and able to work. We also keep track of the work time. This would be the amount of time that a resource either bills or is working in an administrative capacity on non-billable time. We track independently the amount of billed time in addition to the amount of collected time for each particular resources. The matrix lays out all of the resources within your law firm, which can then be filtered by practice area, billing method, and then also the status if it's open or closed. You can also have drop-down filters for dates, past week, past month, this quarter, last year, and then also you can provide custom dates for your own filtering capabilities. Under target, forecast, and actual build time, this takes a look at globally. It's globally without any filters in place, but it looks globally at the total amount of target billables that you have within the firm, the forecast that's necessary based upon past production, and then the actual build time that's shown within the law firm. You can take a look at each individual user by filtering by users to determine the targets and whether or not your actual resource is on track to hit their billable targets. Getting further with productivity, the next chart is the cumulative chart that shows the total amount of hours on an aggregate basis per month, which is a very visual graph that can display just how far or how close a particular resource is to hitting their billable targets. The closer the actual build is to the target is more indicative that a client or a resource is going to have success in reaching their billable targets. More of a divergence there would indicate that there's going to be a problem over the long term for the particular resource to hit targets. Again, we're taking a look at the total firm, but by looking at the current year, the practice area, and the user, you can get very granular on the information sought actually from a practice group or any individual user. If we jump down to worked, billed, and collected time, the worked, billed, and collected time relate, again, globally, initially, to all of the time that's allocated within the law firm. So for this particular law firm, 69.11% of all available time is considered to be work time. Work time would be billed and non-billed. Of the 69.11% that's worked, the total amount of billed time is 48% of that amount of 7,670. The collected time then is about a little less than 50% of what was actually billed. This becomes very helpful in knowing the team productivity and also the efficacy of your practice groups. And then also you could look at individual users to see how they're actually collecting their time. That is, are they spending a disproportionate amount on administrative or non-billable time, or are they working closely with their billable time? Diving further into the productivity, we take a look at global utilization, realization, and collection ratios. So again, we're taking a look at the information. The orange line would be the total amount of time that is utilized. That is the amount of time caught. The realization is the amount of time that's actually billed in a percentage of the utilized time. And then collected would be the collection rate based upon the amount of time that is actually billed. When you look at ALP productivity, the area of practice productivity takes a look at natively your practice group's productivity. So you could take a look at each of the matter types that you work on within your law firm and make determinations as to where your firm is most efficient and also where you need to have more efficiencies put in place in order to drive revenue. Under users by productivity, we take a look at each of the individual resources and we individually calculate their metrics, beginning with available time, now we're to work time, build time, and collected time. Using this chart, you can easily identify your top producers to make sure that they are adequately compensated, and also to identify bottom producers to make sure that they are increasing their expertise and learning how to be more efficient and higher productive employees. When you take a look at our Matters tab, we've added a few functions here that help firm management make decisions on individual performance of associates and paralegals based upon work in progress. Most of the time, law firms typically will focus upon the total amount of billed hours. We've had some questions at firmTRAK on the utilization of employees and how they're actually collecting their time, and of this time, which is not billed. A good example of a matter that could have accrued or aggregate non-billed work would be a probate case. Probate cases are typically paid at the end of the probate cycle. So the actual bill would go out at the end of the lifespan of the case. So in a particular probate matter, there could be a large number of non-billed hours that are in the queue waiting to be billed. This information is helpful in identifying productivity issues of associates and also identifying those matters where you may have a disproportionate amount of non-billed time, which you may not realize as the firm manager. Dropping down to the firmTRAK financials, now we start talking a little bit about the accounting and how the firmTRAK solutions can help accent and optimize what you're doing on your bookkeeping. Our straight line financials are pretty simple. We talk about invoices, revenue, and accounts receivable. Importantly though, you can take a look at our filters and you can start getting into practice area, billing method, and also originating attorney. These would be the attorneys who are responsible for the work and bringing it in. So you're able to look at your partners or various associates to see the type of work that they're bringing in and how much they're billing. In addition, now we're also back to areas of practice, which would be your areas of practice would be identifying those matters or the matter types within your law firm that you are generating the most revenue on, which then this will help you decide where you want to focus your marketing efforts and also maybe additional resources. Jumping now to firmTRAK Matter Tracker. Matter Tracker was a creation that was out of necessity once my law firm went to a paperless file system. So we all have the history of knowing that at some point matters and files were kept in paper, and paper would also be sitting around on our desk, which would give us some sort of a memory or a push to try to do work on a certain file. There always are certain matters that we don't like to work on. So what I've developed here is Matter Tracker, which will continually scan your database. And in scanning the database, coming with the information out of your CRM, we identify those matters that are retained within the firm, but there are no time entries, there are no events, there are no invoices, and there are no tasks. Those would be considered matters in jeopardy. Matters in jeopardy are at best a 1-star Google review, and at worst, these are malpractice claims because clients feel that they are being ignored, and in some instances, they could be ignored to the point of running past statute of limitations or other significant dates. This is a real-time updated system that can provide immediate feedback to help you move your matters consistently and on time. Under the firmTRAK app trust tool, we provide an assessment of your trust balance, if that's what you decide to use. And if you don't have a trust balance or you have some other number that you're comfortable with, we identify that as being the threshold value. What these two numbers determine is how much work in progress are you willing to take on as a firm before you're concerned or before you need to contact the client or notify your resource, your associate, the partners who are working on the case to stop work on the case until there's an additional retainer paid or somebody who is responsible for the client makes a determination that additional work can be performed, knowing that the firm is not covered from a financial standpoint. So for example, in Chad Agate, there's a trust balance of $900,000 and the total work in progress, which is billable value, billable expense, and accounts receivable is $400,230. We know that there's at least a trust balance of 900, which covers that. So the guaranteed collection in this particular case is 400,000. The opposite could be the same. If there is no trust balance, then the total amount of expected collection would be 400,000, and that would be 100% of the total balance. With each one of these columns, you can filter it. So you could identify the files that you have the most guaranteed collection, that is the most coverage. And you can also identify those that you are the most exposed, or we call expected collection. With our firmTRAK app accounts receivable tool, we take all of your accounts receivables and we can categorize them into various columns or buckets. And typically they're the 0 to 30, 30 to 60s as shown on the app. If you have another type of breakdown that you would like to see, that's easy to modify within the system, and you could see 0 to 45, 45 to 55, however you want to view it. One of the items that we have under the accounts receivable is the total amount outstanding compared to the total amount that has been billed and paid. My belief is, and I think firmTRAK's belief is, that each accounts receivable is not the same. So if you have a client that may have paid $50,000 but owes you $5,000, that is a $5,000 accounts receivable that you don't really enjoy. However, it's likely less risky than a client that is a new client that you've done $1,000 worth of work for and they've not paid anything. That is a risky accounts receivable, and we feel that those should be addressed first. And with our tool, you can filter to determine those clients that have performed work, or you've performed work for it, but they have not paid anything, and you can determine that by a percentage. Under our accounts receivable, we also keep track of your concentration ratio and your diversity index, which goes to the quality of your accounts receivable or the risk that you have in each file or each matter based upon the accounts receivable. The lower the concentration ratio, the more spread out your accounts receivables are over all of your files. The higher that number, that means that you have a concentrated accounts receivable and your ARs are at risk at a greater percentage if one would go bankrupt or fail to pay. firmTRAK Solutions builds upon the metrics that we've just looked at, and we provide a full bookkeeping platform that provides all of the information that you see here with a particular attention to three-way trust reconciliations. You're all aware that three-way trust reconciliations are generally all mandated by each bar association within the state. Frankly, our license depends upon whether or not we can keep track of our clients' money. Have we earned this money? Has the money been paid and appropriately accounted for? These are items that most accountants don't have a true appreciation for. It takes a specialized set of skills in order to understand three-way trust reconciliation and then work within your tech systems, that is your CRM, your accounting system, and then also your banking systems in order to make sure that you do truly obtain a three-way trust reconciliation. Are you earning your funds before that they are applied in your operating account, or are they not? These are all answers that can be addressed through an appropriate three-way trust reconciliation. With firmTRAK solutions, you provide the full integrated platform for your accounting package, which would include the standard reports, which are profit and loss, balance sheet, and aging schedules. We provide up to 5 custom reports that are above and beyond what we provide with firmTRAK solutions, because each firm could have some specific report that they would like to see. We can take that information and we can provide that report to you on a monthly basis. In addition to providing the bookkeeping solutions, we also have preferred status with Xero, which is a cloud-based accounting system, that if you want to move to a cloud-based system like Xero, you can, and we'll absorb that cost for you. Or if you would like to stay with your current system, which is likely QuickBooks, you're more than happy to stay with QuickBooks, and we can work with QuickBooks as well. We can assist in working with your accounts receivables. We can work with your bills and invoices if you would like help moving things to clients. And we also provide integrated reporting, both coming out of your accounts or coming out of your accounting system, combined with the information coming out of your CRM, which we then show on our firmTRAK dashboard. The last sheet we're showing is firmTRAK Solutions Report. I've already referenced the type of reports that we can provide, which include the standard information that you see. But I want you to take particular attention or pay particular attention to the three-way trust reconciliation. This would be a monthly report, or more frequently if you would want, of the actual trust account balances that you have for each of your clients and your matters. This trust balance would mirror your journal, your accounting information, in addition to your CRM. This is something that is very important regarding compliance, and clients like to know if their money is being appropriately accounted for. These are some of the things that we can show. We're more than happy to work with your firm in whichever capacity we can to assist you in driving your business and also increasing your productivity and your profits. Thank you.